Hi there. In this video, I'm going to be just giving a very brief introduction to what operations management actually is. Now, firstly, as we've looked at in the preliminary course, operations management really is the process, the business process that that involves transformation. Okay, in a nutshell, production. Now, it's anything that really adds value. Okay, so taking an input, raw material that really doesn't really have much value yet. Okay, and then transforming it. So doing something to it. So taking iron ore, taking other raw materials, and turning it into steel beams. Okay, now steel beams have value added to them. Okay, and then they can have value added to it, further on down the track as well, that those steel beams get turned into something else. However, it's operations management really is the process of adding value, okay, at each step, okay, of the materials, basically through the transformation processes, ending with that output, okay. Now, operations relating to the customer has a lot of focuses here. So one of them is minimizing waste. So by having what we call lean production, okay, so really being extremely efficient, what it does is it minimizes waste. Less waste equals lower costs, and customers are going to be a bit more in tune to businesses that have lower costs, okay, because that then generally would mean lower prices for the customer as well. And it also means that they know the business is also not wasteful, okay, and which is something that we'll also look at in a few dot points time, in terms of things with ecological sustainability, for example. Customers are also looking at businesses that reflect fair value for any labor used in processes as well. So essentially what that means is making sure that any of the work carried out by people, okay, by human resources, the human assets, if you want to look at them like that, in the business, that what they're paying for at the end product is a fair price. Okay, so they're getting fair value for any labor actually used. As we looked at in the first dot point with minimizing waste, customers also want to be able to afford products. So what a business would do in the operations function is trying to find ways to minimize costs, so as to actually maximize the affordability. So the lower the costs, generally the lower the price customers will have to pay for it. Customers are also looking for businesses that have environmental and ecological sustainable practices as well, because customers as well would like to feel like they're contributing to the protection, okay, and the sustainable use of the environment. And finally, customers also want a business to actually respond to what they want. Okay, being able to change with the needs of consumers over time. So if a business is still operating as if people were living in the 1950s or 1960s, what they'll find is they're actually struggling to keep their market share or grow their business, because customers aren't going to that business to purchase their products, because there's other businesses that are keeping up with what the latest trends are in fashion, in technology, in environmental sustainability, in labor laws as well. So, operations does play a huge part in the customer focus. However, some of these do conflict. Okay, so obviously finding a way to minimize waste or operate at a lower cost might conflict with, for example, sustainable practices, okay? Sometimes being unsustainable makes it a lot cheaper, so it really comes down to what's the best balance for the business. So I hope that this video is informative enough for a brief overview of what operations management actually is as you enter the HSC course of operations. The next video in this HSC operations course is looking at the strategic role of operations management. So thank you very much.